I'm Mike, and today we Preg check these heifers on our Wyoming Life. Next week, truckloads of hay will begin arriving at the ranch. And because this year our hay crop was severely lacking due to hot and dry weather, we only harvested about a quarter of what the cows need to survive the winter. So we need to buy hay to make up the difference. Each truck that shows up will be carrying anywhere from 22 to 33 tons of hay, each truckload costing between $4,000 to $6,000. One cow will eat about 3 tons of hay over the winter. So in order to sustain our herd, we need to make sure we have about 400 tons of hay on hand. That can cost up to $70,000. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, what does the price of hay have to do with Preg checking the cows? And I'll tell you, everything. Cows that have calves are what makes the ranch a majority of its money. That calf is sold in October, and that check is the one big paycheck the ranch gets. It's what I work for all year, from feeding to calving to haying to putting the bulls in with the cows. And if a cow doesn't get pregnant, then we need to know. There's no point, from a financial standpoint, to feeding a cow that's not going to give us a calf to sell. That money can be better spent somewhere else on the ranch. So if a cow isn't pregnant, or what we call empty, she's normally sold. And the way you tell if a cow is pregnant is by Preg checking. This is Kyle. He's our vet. He makes a few appearances on the ranch throughout the year, and one of the times is Preg checking. Preg checking is accomplished by bringing the cow into the squeeze chute and inserting an ultrasound probe into her rectum. With that probe, Kyle can look at the ultrasound screen and tell us if a cow is pregnant or not, how far along she is, and even if she's going to have a boy or a girl. But before we get that far, we have to get the cows to the corrals. The heifers are cows that have not yet had a calf. They're normally about 1.5 years old at this point, and they've been living here in our heifer pasture for the last couple of months. They were exposed to the bull from June until about mid-July in order to give them a due date around March of next year. A cow's gestation period is almost exactly that of a human at 9 months. We have to wait about 45 days after the bull was taken off the heifers to check and see if they're pregnant. And this week, we have hit that magic date. Using the gator, I begin to lead the heifers back towards home. Also with them is 80 and Gunther, who will be coming back with us as well. Thankfully, 80 is with us. She's been through this a few times, and because she has, she knows the routine. She leads these young delinquents in the right direction. It's a little over a mile to the corrals, where they will hang out, while Kyle and I get set up to check them out. Once we crest the hill, we only have a few more yards to go, and the heifers, along with 80 and Gunther, are locked in the corrals to wait their turn. Kyle brings his own squeeze chute for us to Preg check with. It's a hydraulically controlled chute and costs over $20,000, which is why we don't have one of our own, although it would be nice. Our chute is not hydraulically controlled and uses old-fashioned manpower to catch and lock a cow in place. Because Preg checking requires you to do it over and over again, I'm glad that Kyle brings his Cadillac of squeeze chutes. After getting his chute set up and chained to the posts, we can bring in the cows, leading them into an area of the corrals called the tub, which holds cattle and allows you to progressively close the gate, forcing them down the alley towards the squeeze chute. Sometimes this is easier said than done. It's a matter of getting all these young mothers up into the tub, then getting the gate closed and latched behind them. This is all new to them. They have never been through it before, and for good reason, they're very skeptical of the whole process. But with a little bit of persuasion and Kyle's patented vet dance moves, we finally get the cows into the tub, the gate latched, and the cows moving down the alley. Our first patient is moved up the alley into the squeeze chute, where Kyle mans the controls and catches her as she comes in. First closing the door behind her, then opening up the front, called the head chute, to let her stick her head through, then closing it, and lastly using the squeeze part of the chute to lightly apply pressure to the sides of the cow, which actually helps keep her calm. While Kyle checks to the other end of the cow, I'll change out her ear tags, taking off her original tag and replacing it with a ranch tag and number, making her an official, productive member of our herd. Cows also receive a dose of ivermectin, a topical medication which is poured down their back to protect them from worms, mites, and other parasites. On Kyle's end is a completely different and much messier point of view. He is in the process of checking to see if this cow is pregnant. Using ultrasound, he can see the fetus calf's head. He can tell us that she's about 100 days pregnant, which would make her due on March 18th, 2018. He can tell that she is carrying a little girl cow. With that, she is cleared to leave the chute, which she does in a hurry and proceeds to take out a camera. My phone, actually. Well, that's one camera down. And once again proving that anything that can happen will happen around cows. It doesn't matter where I set that camera, a cow was going to run right into it. But it doesn't stop the show. Erin comes out to pick up the slack and is our new cameraman, as Kyle and I continue on. Next up is 80 herself. She's old, and because of her age and the difficulty of having Gunther premature, we decided not to breed her this year. But, by Murphy's Law, a neighbor's bull got in with her, so we have to preg check her and make sure that she didn't accidentally get pregnant. She heads into the chute, with Gunther close behind, and she almost immediately slips and falls, getting stuck in the bottom of the chute. After a little bit of coaxing, we get her to stand back up, and Kyle checks her as well, finding her open, or not pregnant, which is exactly what we want. She heads out, and Gunther follows along behind, coming through the chute and back out with his mom, and they exit, stage left. Luckily, we only have to do this 17 times today, but coming up in a month or so, we'll be doing this with the cows, and 160 more times, checking each and every cow on the ranch to see if they're pregnant or not. Today we had 2 heifers that weren't pregnant, one belonging to our 4-year-old daughter, Grace. Each year, we've been giving the kids a calf, building their individual herds to 5 animals apiece. The sale from the calves their cows produce goes directly into an account for them. Whether it's for college or to get a good start on life, that money will serve them well. Unfortunately, Grace will not have a calf from this heifer next year. And even though we'll keep the heifer to try again, this year is a wash. The other heifer that isn't pregnant belongs to Erin and I. She's not pregnant, but for another reason. By ultrasound, Kyle can tell us that her reproductive organs are underdeveloped. She will never be able to get pregnant, and she will be sold. This process repeats itself for the rest of the heifers, replacing ear tags, applying ivermectin, and Kyle checking by ultrasound for a calf. Then heading back into the corrals to bring more heifers into the tub and the alley, and eventually into the chute, until the last heifer is checked and sent loose. Then it's back into the corral for all of them, where they will hang out for a couple of days. Our cow that isn't and can't get pregnant will be sorted off and taken to the sales barn, and the rest will be turned back out onto pasture to become a working part of the ranch, fed all winter and calved in the spring, hopefully without a problem. Preg checking is a tool that we use on the ranch to save us the cost of feeding and taking care of a cow all winter long that won't have a calf anyway, and more importantly, won't make us a dime. It's the beginning of a process that's known as culling the cows, or taking the non-producing cows off the ranch. Whether they're too old to breed or have a genetic defect, it's just another way of trying to keep the ranch alive and paying for itself. If it pays for itself, it keeps us going in a lifestyle that I wish everybody could experience. Living in the wide open spaces, the freedom, and the hard work that turns into something you can see and touch. Every heifer or cow that is pregnant means that I'm doing a huge part of my job right, and that makes me happy. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being a part of making me happy as well. Please subscribe, like, and share, and have a great week. And thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.